Hey guys, Mark here from Hallmark Pool Supplies. I'm here today to talk to you about finding a leak in your swimming pool. Regardless if you have vinyl, concrete, or fiberglass, although the platforms are different, the operation and the process of finding leaks in these pools are all going to be very much the same. So let's go ahead and take a look at the three types of leaks that can occur in a swimming pool. Now, the three types of leaks that can occur in a pool are pressure leaks, suction leaks, and structural leaks. The first thing we want to do is make sure we're not losing any water in the backwash. If you've got water leaking out of your backwash line while it's in filter, that's definitely a leak. So let's determine that, because that's definitely one of the more common leaks in a pool. And if your backwash line is not leaking, then we're good. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go out, mark the swimming pool with a pencil on the skimmer. You can mark it on the step, you can get a piece of tape, doesn't really matter, but leave your pool running and we're going to mark it. Make sure we come back in 24 hours and we're going to remark the pool. Once we've done this, turn the swimming pool off, wait 24 hours, and we're going to remark the pool again. So at this point, we have two marks. We have 24 hours on, and then we have 24 hours with the system off. And you'll be able to record those marks and look at those marks and see how much water was lost. If we leaked more water when it was on and less water when it was off, then we have a pressure leak, such as a return line, deck jets, slides, etc. So if it's a pressure leak, the first thing we want to do is we want to turn off the swimming pool. Then what we want to do is we want to go to the returns in the pool. Every pool has returns. This is where the water shoots back into the pool, and this is definitely a pressure line. We want to then remove all the eyeball fittings. Some pools have one return, some pools have multiple returns. But what you want to do is get an 1.5 inch threaded O-ring plug. This is an SP 1022C plug that can easily be put in. It has an O-ring, and once we screw this in, we are able to seal the return outlet. We're just going to put it in hand tight. You want to do that with all of them. This way you've now sealed all your returns. You mark the pool, you come back in 24 hours. If the pool is holding, you've just discovered that you have a break in your return line. At this point in time, you'll be able to call a pool professional. They can come out and now they can isolate it and dig it up and make the repair. This is going to allow them to get to the problem and get it fixed much quicker than making multiple trips, spending hours or days at your house looking for a leak in the pool. If we determine that in 24 hours, on or off, that it leaked more when it was off and less when it was on, then we have a suction leak. If it's a suction leak, it's going to be pertaining to either skimmer or drain. We're going to start with the skimmer because that's a little bit easier, and we'll talk about the drain later. So what I have here is a display of a skimmer, and I'm going to show you guys. So the first thing you'd want to do is you want to turn off the pool, open up the lid, we're going to remove the basket, and down at the bottom of the skimmer you're going to have a hole, and you're going to use the same plug that we use to plug the returns, and you're going to plug the skimmer. Most pools have at least one skimmer, some pools have more, but you'll need to plug all of them. Now with your skimmers plugged, we're going to mark the water, and we're going to wait 24 hours, and we're going to come back and we're going to check the water level. Let's just say you come back the next day and the water level is holding. Then that means we've got a break in the skimmer line, and we'll be able to also call a pool professional and make that same type of repair as they did with the return line. And now we don't even have to bother with the drain line because we already found it in the skimmer. Now after 24 hours, if we determine after plugging the skimmers that we're still losing water, then at this point we know it's not coming through the skimmers. We would want to check the drain. Now in order to get to the drain, someone's going to have to do some swimming. They're going to have to go dive down to the bottom of the pool, remove 2 screws, remove the lid on the drain, and if you'll note down in the drain on the side here, this is where the drain line comes in. You're going to use the same plug that we used for the skimmers and the returns, and we're going to plug the drain line. Now with that being plugged at this point, and we just tighten it because it's going to be hand tight, now you can check the pool in 24 hours later. If we're not leaking, then we know we have a break in the drain line. Once again, you can call a pool professional. They can come out. The leak is now isolated, and now we can fix the drain line. If the cost of the repair to fix this drain line because it's under the pool is too costly, then you can leave the drain plugged and omit it, and now you just won't have a drain, and you could always make that future repair when you do renovations on the pool at a later date. If you record and in 24 hours running on and 24 hours off is exactly the same water loss, then we have what's called a structural leak. Structural leaks can be anything such as a hole in the liner, If you have a concrete or a fiberglass pool, it could be a hole in the surface, it could be a crack. We could have a crack in the steps. It could be pertaining to gaskets around lights, skimmers, drains, etc. Or in the case of a concrete or fiberglass pool, hydrostatic valves, which are located in the drains. A hydrostatic valve, like I said before, are pertaining to concrete or fiberglass pools. These are valves that are located in the bottom of a drain, and the reason they are put in is so that if in high water tables, when a pool is installed, if they're not used, a pool could float out of the ground just like a boat. By putting hydrostatics in, the pressure in the pool is greater, so it keeps the pool in the ground. When a pool is drained or lowered, if the water table in the ground is greater than what's in the pool because it's empty, the pool can float. By having a hydrostatic valve, it allows the groundwater then to go into the pool, which then will fill the pool as opposed to raising and floating the pool. And if debris gets in those hydrostatic valves, such as pine straw, dirt, what have you, a leaf, and they close, then you have created a leak and you're not aware. So you always want to make sure that those hydrostatic valves are closed, they're sealed, there's no trash in them. And you also want to make sure that the hydrostatic valve is good and the O-ring and the seal is good and that they are closing, because if you find that the hydrostatic valves are not working properly, you can remove them and put new ones in. Structural leaks are always going to leak consistent regardless if the system is running on or off. For an example, some pools, not all pools, but a lot of pools today have lights. And when we have a leak in the light, then that is a structural leak because there is no suction, there is no pressure. So for an example, water level in a pool is here. And if you'll note, the water level in the light line comes up to here before it reaches the junction box. At this point in time, if we had a break here in the light line, the water level, because water self-levels, would go down and leak to this point. One now would come out and assume that because it's below the return, it's below the skimmer, but yet I'm above the light and I'm above the drain, that the light and the drain must be okay. In fact, this case here, the light line is broke, and that's why the water level to this point. Some people think, oh, my drain is good because the water hasn't drained out of the pool. But let's just say the drain is broke here. Well, then water would self-level to this point. Now at this point, it's broke. I still have water in the pool. I'm above the drain, but I'm now below the light. I'm below the skimmer. I'm below the return. So at this point, when we determine the leak, then we'll know how to go about finding that leak and then fixing that leak. And it just makes it easier so that you're not running around looking at a million places in the pool for a leak when you can pinpoint the type of leak that you're looking for, if it's going to be structural, suction, or pressure. So if you assume that possibly the light is a leak, we have putty. It's an underwater putty. The light can be taken out. It can be sealed. The light can be put back in, and it will seal and fix the leak. However, the better way to fix it is to lower the water level below the light and seal it dry with a product called Permaseal. When we do new pool construction and we build pools, we seal all lights brand new, regardless of breaks. This way we're assured that if we have a problem, we can omit the light because we know it's sealed. Lights will be able to be taken out and be able to be replaced and removed even if you seal it, but by sealing that light, we're guaranteed that we don't have to worry about a break in the light line and having a leak in the future. We do see a lot of light lines on a lot of pools today fail, they break, they crack, and then you have a leak. Sealing it dry is always better than sealing it with the underwater putty because it's more permanent. Hopefully you guys found this video to be helpful, but it is important to keep in mind that every situation is different. For an example, we could have more than one leak in a pool, but this is a basic guideline that is going to help us determine what type of leak we have and where it's located, and will help you or your pool professional a little bit easier in finding that pool leak and fixing it for you. But if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at hallmarkpoolsupplies@gmail.com. And if you guys have any questions that you'd like to see us make a video on, make sure you comment down below and hit the subscribe button. Also, be sure to check us out on hallmarkpoolsupplies.com for all your pool needs. Even if it's that hard to find part, contact us. We'll be glad to help you. My name is Mark. Appreciate you watching. Have a good day. See you on the next video.